What's up, everyone? It's Jeremy Majors here with Majors Academy Dog Training out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. And we're live coming to you from YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram for our 144th Dog Q&A show, where you ask all the questions you like, and we answer them to the best of our ability. Um, And just know, like I always say, that your questions are going to help others that may come across this video. So don't be scared and ask anything you like. This is an open discussion. Anybody from any background is welcome to ask any question. And like I said, I will answer them to the best of my ability. All right. Well, let's get started. Okay. Question from Instagram comes from Jen. Our new dog has random moments of aggression toward our older, much smaller dog. Nothing physical, just mean barking and getting in her face. We've started separating them at night, mealtime, and even go outside separately. It seems to lessen the occurrences since those are times the new dog gets more excitable. Any suggestions on helping them coexist better? Yes. Learn how to get that dog calm in those excitable moments, and then it'll go away. You want to get that dog calm. Calmness definitely helps everything. So before you let the dog out, put the new dog on leash. Show the older dog that you can control the new dog. Show the new dog that you could control the new dog. And then the fights will go away and their relationship can become better. It's easy to get along with calm dogs. Dogs can get along with calm dogs. People enjoy calm dogs. So that's the key. Um, Whenever the dog, when those areas come about that the dog gets excited, just put the dog on leash and sit the dog until it's calm. And it may take a while, but that's sort of the focus here. All right. Thanks for your question. Feel free to ask another. Happy Thursday to everyone out there. If you're having a drink, cheers. Because it is cold up here in Green Bay. All right, let's keep it moving, guys. All right, how do you handle a dog that barks to just bark? As soon as we step outside to go for a walk, he's not barking at someone or another dog, just barks to let the neighborhood know he's present. He's tiny, so maybe the small dog syndrome. I correct the hush and heel, but he just starts right back up. Yeah, if any situation occurs that the dog it becomes insecure, it's a signal to tell you or show you that you have to take control by giving the dog structure in that environment. And the best way on a walk is to heel, but the heeling has some rules. Are one very important rule, and that rule is to be able to get the dog to walk beside you, loose leash with no tension. That way you know that you are reaching the dog and the dog takes your sort of leadership before um, allowing his insecurities to take control. So, hey, Jody. Um, and so make sure that I'm going to be posting a video tomorrow of threshold work, which means dogs coming in and out of doors. Doors make dogs crazy. And if you have a dog who gets too excited, jumps, barks, bites, then you want to learn how to control the dog's threshold or impulse um, going in and out of thresholds. So that's that. Thank you for your question. Feel free to ask another. Okay, moving on. Come on, slow computer. Okay. Amanda asks, how do you correct bad behavior like snarling, showing teeth to new dogs in public? Um, well, I would say if the dog is snarling and showing teeth to new dogs in public, you want to, that dog is telling you to give give him or her some space. Um, so it is not advisable, in my opinion, to allow dogs to meet when they are on leash, especially if you can tell right away that the dog that is coming up is out of control. If the dog is pulling, you don't want your dog meeting that dog because your dog may become insecure. So, um, I don't know right away that you should correct it versus giving your dog the proper space before your dog takes matters into its own hands. You know, the snarling and showing teeth in one way is saying, hey, I don't want you near me, man. Go away. And um, this would be at the dog park off leash. Okay. Um, well, you can go ahead and give a verbal correction, I would say. Um, you know, make sure this, if the dog is near you and doing those behaviors, then you want to walk away from your dog. Um, because if the dog is sitting or laying or standing by you and doing this, then it's just becoming possessive of you. And then you want to sort of just walk away to avoid that. Um, and so, yeah, you can again give a verbal, say, hey, knock it off, sort of deal. But again, make sure you are aware of where you are because it's really easy for dogs to get sort of sort of like, hey, I don't want this other dog around you, the owner. So sometimes that kind of happens. All right, so notice obviously when those things happen. If it's away from you and you want to correct it, um, then you can use the e-collar and press the vibrate button. Um, that's a really easy way to break that mindset as well because you can kind of connect. No, well, yes and no, I would say. Is this possessiveness something I'm doing, like not being a strong pack leader? Not necessarily. Um, just keep in mind that when your dog comes near you and another dog comes up, just kind of walk away. That's kind of a rule that I have anyway. Um, you can also, again, teach the dog that that behavior is not necessary. You can, like I said, verbally correct the dog. Um, that may help. So try those things and see if that gets you what you're looking for. The other thing is this to keep into account when you go into the dog park. There is a huge chance, there is a huge potential for asshole dogs to be there. And if the dog that is making your dog growl and snarl is being an asshole, then your dog should not be blamed for growling and snarling. So there's that. Just to defend your dog. Um, there's a lot of unstable energy at the dog park. So keep that in mind as well. Dog park is not the most safe social environment. All right. Thank you for your question. Feel free to ask another or keep giving me details. The more details you give me, the better I can help you. Hey, Rachel. Cheers. Um, all right, next question. Let me see. How do I get to all the questions? Here we go. Those of you who are watching live, you guys' questions will take precedence. I have a bunch of questions on like other social media outlets, right? But those of you who are watching live, you guys' questions will be answered as the priority. All right. Thank you. It seems like my dog is an asshole, but only when someone new approaches. I'll try it for sure and share my results. Yeah. I mean, hey, your dog could be an asshole because there's assholes out there. Okay. Hey, Jeremy, I wrote a question right at the end of last week's session. I was a little too late and you shut down. Did you happen to see it? No, I didn't. If you don't mind, could you type it now? I would be more than happy to um to answer that question for you live, if you don't mind. Kate says, "Hey Jeremy, I just wanted to know how would you reintroduce a dog to another dog if they had a bad experience together?" Um, okay, I'm getting a little hot in here. Okay, introducing another dog that's had a bad experience. You're gonna have to work through the initial. Oh my God, this is the dog was who I had a bad experience with. You're gonna have to work through that, and that takes time. You know what I'm saying? So, you're just gonna have to be in control of both dogs for long enough, and it may take about 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It may take a while um, for those dogs to really say, "Hey, you're okay? Are you cool? Because I'm cool. Are you cool? Okay, cool. So now I want to know who you are." Sort of dogs sort of go through that when they first see each other. It's like, "Hey, dude, who are you? Are you good? Like, where you from?" Like, um, anyway, yeah, dogs have got to go through certain little things that, especially if a dog has gone through a bad experience, they can't hold a grudge against that dog. Doesn't mean your dog is aggressive if it's been in a dog fight with one dog. They don't necessarily discriminate based on looks. Some dogs do, though. Some dogs do have problems with certain breeds. I used to have this German Shepherd that just hated boxers, um, because boxers bring a whole different energy. You know what I'm saying? German Shepherds don't like it. Well, at least this German Shepherd didn't. So, uh, calmness creates clarity, you know, and allows for a good relationship to be formed. So take your time. If you don't feel good about it, then don't do it. Or take more time. Hope that helps. All right, let's keep it moving, folks. What we got? What we got? Those of you who just joined in, please comment. I mean, ask a question. I talk to people every single day, and I talk to them for as long as they need me. Uh, I don't try and cut people off. I'm evaluating your dog on the phone. I don't need to see your dog. Your dog doesn't need to come to me. I don't need it. I don't do evaluations. People call me. Can you do an evaluation of of my dog? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, go ahead, start talking, because I can start talking about. I can start evaluating the dog right over the phone. And if I hear something that I haven't heard in the 14 years I've been doing this, then I'll say, bring that dog over here. I need to see that dog. But it rarely happens. And so I know there's some dog trainers out there that do that. More power to them. That's fine. But for me, I can give a good general. I can get a good general feel because I have a good feel of dogs in general. And there's always little things that I get to know if I get to know the dog. You know what I'm saying? Little intimate things. But for the most part, you know, dogs are kind of similar, basic. All right, Kayla says we've had 3 dogs surrendered to us in the past couple months for biting children in their homes. Oh my God. A lot of the circumstances were zero boundaries between the dogs and kids, but what is your rule of thumb for adding a new dog into a home with children? All right, great question. You're going to get a mouthful, earful, because I don't play around when it comes to children and dogs. All right, so check it. I mean, there's got to be some really strong guidelines if people adopt dogs or just get dogs. It doesn't matter if adopted or not, it doesn't matter. But people that have children, there's got to be some strong guidelines and or boundaries put in place. And here's one. First and foremost, um, gotta show the you gotta show the dog or gotta show the children that the dog can be calm. And you have to show the dog that the child can be somewhat controlled. So it's kind of good to separate the two for a while. I'd say a month. Um, that way, the dog can get to know the owners separate. The dog can get to know the child at their own pace. And you have a much better chance. Again, we're talking about a relationship, and what optimizes the chances of a successful relationship is structure for long enough. And that time period depends on the dog. Just depends on the dog. What we can't do, though, this is what we can't do. Again, I'm just talking on an extreme terms. What we cannot do is just allow the dog and the children to and throw them in the house and say, let's see if they get along. I mean, maybe sometimes that works, but it ain't happening in my house. No dog. If I don't know you, you're not going to just be able to free roam in my house, especially with my kid around. My children are before you, they're above you, right? So dog down here, children here, dog down here. I mean, hate to say it, but that is the reality. That's how I've had success with my dogs getting to know my son. I have a dog. I have a Great Dane, Oakley. He probably would have bit the hell out of my son if I just said, "Here you guys go. Introduce yourselves." He probably would have bit the hell. I mean, he has bitten multiple people, and the first time he saw my son, he growled. I'd have been absolutely idiotic to allow them to just go. So it's been a while now. My son is a year and a half. And when Oakley gets uncomfortable with Reggie, he just walks away. But so anyway, getting back to the question, there's got to be specific rules for new dogs in new environment with new children. Um, there's just got to be strong boundaries to ensure success. I mean, again, we certainly don't want children to get bit. So maybe I can provide you guys with some rules to hand out to your adopters that will that can be followed to ensure success. In specific, those who have dogs. I mean, children. All right. Thanks for your question. That's we'll address that at the seminar too. Okay. All right, Jody. Thank you for retyping your question. I have to tell Sonny several times to obey my command I give him. For example, lay down. I tell him multiple times and he just looks at me. Then he moves towards me. He will lay down. I don't want to yell at him after he obeys, but I don't know how to get him to initially obey me. Well, give him a chance with your verbal word command, lay down, and then you have to physically make him lay down, whether that be with your leash or with some sort of tool. But that's going to strengthen your word. He's going to take your word more seriously. Um, so tell him something, and then if he blatantly ignores you, then you must make him do it. That's it. I have a great YouTube video if you want to know how to sort of make him do it. Then you should watch that one. How to down. And people are afraid of that make him sort of deal. Hey, doesn't that sound a little harsh? No, make him do it. Um, yeah, but so what? We make children do a lot of things, don't we? So don't be afraid of that. I guess I could sweeten up my verbiage and say, um, I don't even know. I don't even want to think about it. But dog must do certain things. That's it. To help learn. I mean, that's it. It benefit it benefit him in the long run and you guys. All right. Especially since he's so big. I need him to listen to me when guests are here. There you go. There you go. We probably are so relaxed obviously, way too relaxed with what we allow our animals to do. It's like we don't even allow our children to get away with the crap our animals do. Dogs jumping on counters, jumping on people. You gotta be crazy. All right. Bouncing off Kayla's question, how you answered prior to my husband and I living together, we had a 5-year-old pit bull and a 6-year-old son. We definitely introduced them slowly, so I feel affirmed by that, what you said there. It's been 5 years and they're really great together. There are still times, though, our dog gets triggered by his childness. Like if he giggles really loud or moves quickly, unexpectedly, she rushes towards him and jumps on him to get into his face. There is no intent to harm, but she's so strong and not able to control the situation completely. But wait a minute, but she's so strong and he's not able to control the situation completely. Is there a command that is best investment to sidetrack her in those moments she loses self-control? Uh, yeah, do not let her do that anymore. You like this close from a hospital visit. This close. You see that? Stop that immediately. By any means, I don't care. Do not let your dog do that. This close. Right here. I would absolutely lose my mind if my dog did that. Don't let that happen anymore. You may need to call me. No pulling her off. Nope, that ain't gonna work. Nope, 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 no, 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 no. That dog needs a consequence from Jesus. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. No pulling. No, none of that. No, 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 no. That dog needs to meet a consequence so that it never does that again. That's a very, 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 very invasive. I don't even know if that's the right word. It's just a very strong behavior that's this close to being disastrous. Your dog should never be allowed to jump on your child ever. Ever, 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 ever. Because if you do, you are just leaving the door open for something terrible to happen. All right, guys. So look, check this out. Again, you've heard me say this before. If your dog thinks it's okay to jump on you, doors wide open for aggression. And that's not to say that every dog that jumps is aggressive. But every dog that's aggressive most likely jumps. Yes, I'm glad you asked too. I am very glad you asked. And I hate to be so harsh, but I am really tough on children and dogs, please call me tomorrow. I'll come up with a we'll come up with a great plan. But that has to stop immediately. Your dog should. Oof, that makes me uncomfortable just thinking about it. Inbox me, PM me. I will give you my number. Let's talk it out. Yeah, let's do it. Thanks for reaching out, though. All right, let's keep moving, guys. Okay. Gene asks, my year-old lab, Pit Mix, is usually very good with other dogs. My best friend recently adopted an 8-year-old Pit who is also a recent amputee. While the first couple times of our dogs being together were good, my dog became aggressive towards the other dog recently and has stayed aggressive towards her at each subsequent meeting. Trying to mount her, hackles up in her face, aggressively trying to bite her face. The day prior to the first aggressive incident, my dog was around a hyper 5-month-old puppy, but that is the only trigger I see as an issue. My best friend and I want our dog to be able to hang out and are looking for basically you have to get control of your dog when your dog decides to get too dominant. Sounds like your dog's trying to be too a little too dominant, with that dog. Here's a little key when it comes to socialization. When your dogs start to get vocal and they don't know each other, then you should probably stop and give them both a break. You if once they get to know each other and you know that they're safe with each other and they get vocal, let them get vocal. But vocalization with dogs who don't know each other could be a sign that it's getting ready to escalate. And so you want to step in when things seem unfair. I mean, we all have a basic understanding of what fairness looks like. Two dogs are playing, both dogs engaged, both dogs wagging tail, not one overwhelming the other, not one looking like they're just trying to get one dog the hell off of them. It looks like a mutual good conversation. You know what I mean? There's no mounting. That's not allowed because that's not having a conversation. Mounting would be like you talking to that person, that always interrupts you and is not even listening to you. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of it's disrespectful. So nice, even uh, mutual play is what you want to look for. But you guys have to be in control, not the dogs, and then they can see eye to eye. Okay. All right. Okay. So I get this question a lot. I want to talk to you guys about um, this question or this comment, but especially from German Shepherd owners. So all you German Shepherd owners out there, listen up. Just because your dog does not bite when it's being pet doesn't mean it likes to be pet. Oh yeah, he's fine out in public. He's a butthole and in home in the territory. In our territory, he's a butthole. Oh, but when we take him out in public, he's fine. Oh yeah, what's fine mean? What's that mean? Does that mean he just again tolerates being petted, or uh, is she very close to snapping as well? Because German Shepherds, they hit a certain age where they're like, I know I can move you away. I'm big. I'm feeling myself now. And so um, I worked through this sort of thinking with this client, and I said, "Is your dog wagging its tail and and sort of pulling towards people with a smile on his face?" We all know, especially the German Shepherd, ears pinned back, tail wagging, and we all know what dogs that are happy to see us look like. Is your dog showing those things when it comes to strangers? No, no, it just sits there, just stands there. Okay, well, yeah. I'd probably not let that dog get pet because German shepherds, man, they'll back away. Some people say, "Oh well, in the beginning he just used to back away. She used to just back away, and now the dog barks and lunges." Well, when your dog is backing away, then you want to use that as a sign to give the dog space from whoever's making it back away, because it will turn into that forward barking and growling if you allow people to just come up and just make the dog uncomfortable. So it's not about just because your dog isn't biting, lunging, and barking doesn't mean your dog isn't in that same mindset that will turn into that one day. So just learn how to read your dog more and grow. Well, not grow. Learn how to advocate for your dog in those circumstances. Recognize that your dog doesn't want to be pet, make an excuse, and get the hell out of there. Or continue to let your dog be pet, and then one day he's going to be like, I don't want to be pet, and I'm going to bite you, or I'm going to bark, or I'm going to growl. Some dogs on leash need space away from people and dogs, and they'll show you because they'll be barking at the sight of a dog. Anybody out there experience that with their dog? They first backed up, or they at least didn't act aggressive, and then when they got older, all of a sudden they were like, I'm big and I got teeth and I know it and I'm going to hurt you. Okay, anyway, Chris has been walking Sunny off the leash, but with the e-collar. And Sunny always likes to be 5 to 10 feet ahead of him. He doesn't run off or chase anything, but Chris would like him to stay by his side. What can be done to say to him or train him to be by his side? Great question. Use the vibrate button and say back. Back, press the button. If he doesn't back, press the button. I think I should make a video of this, but or you can just say come and press the button and then just keep walking. And then once he's by your side, or start off with the leash too, start him off healing with you on the leash. And then go to the end of the leash, hold the end of the leash, let him go forward like he wants to, and then say back, press the e-collar button, and then guide him back so that, that's the really, really, really like ensure way to teach him back. I'm sure you can do it with him without the leash, but the best way is to put him on leash first, keep the end of the leash, hold the end of the leash, and yes, I did. And then teach the word back. Too far, those kind of commands. Those will work. He's smart enough to know. Dogs are smarter than you guys think, man. We just got to hold them to it. They can learn a new command like that. It doesn't take days, doesn't take weeks. it just takes a certain level of respect. The dog has got to know that you're going to follow through. But yeah, dogs are very, very smart. I mean, every dog that I train knows what to do. They just don't do it. That's the bigger problem. It's like, I know what to do, but I'm not going to do it. And it's like, yeah, you got to do it because you can't bite anybody anymore. So we did notice that since he's been back from your training, he learns new commands easily. Yeah, man, it's it's a wonderful thing, man. It's a wonderful thing to be able to have a certain level of dialogue with your dog. Sky's the limit. It's a journey, but again, once you learn how to keep a dog humble, you know, that's all we're doing with everyone around us anyway, really. I mean, if we really are interested in helping them, we're trying to keep them humble, keeping ourselves humble. Pretentiousness leads to lack of respect for consequence, which can get us in trouble. And for humans, we end up in jail. But those who don't go to jail are humble to boundaries, just like dogs should be. Just like dogs should be. Hey guys, I mean, check this out. There's a fellow trainer of mine I would um, call at this point more than a trainer. I've met him, met his family, met his kids, met his wife, been to his house, had dinner with him, had phone conversations with him. He is absolutely getting destroyed online, you guys. Oh, man. I mean, there are people who are sending him death threats because of a video. So let me explain the video. The video of him doing a dog training technique that is, or at least was, accepted by a professional organization. So this technique was approved. So this technique was used by trainers who are a part of this professional organization. And it is called bonking. 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 You guys should YouTube it. Tell me what you think. This technique involves a towel and throwing the towel at the dog. There's a video of this trainer. I'll just tell you his name. His name is Jeff Gelman with Solid Canine Training. He is throwing a towel, a rolled up towel, at a dog. Human aggressive dog. No, dog aggressive dog. And people are losing their minds. He made national news. I mean, goes all over the world for training seminars. This guy is a highly renowned dog trainer. He's probably got the most YouTube followers of all dog trainers because he just doesn't stop working. You know, he has a facility in Rhode Island. He does seminars here actually in Green Bay. He's coming in April, I believe. Coming here in April. and yeah, he was supposed to do a conduct a seminar in Scotland, and Scotland caught wind of this video. And I don't know the status of the seminar, but it made news in Scotland, calling him an animal abuser. So you guys check him out. Let me know if you think he's an animal abuser. What I'm afraid is going to happen, though, that is this movement of people who think they know about or how to work with difficult dogs are going to determine how trainers should work with difficult dogs. That's scary because there's it's not very easy working with dogs who have the potential to really hurt you or the dogs that you own. It's not an easy thing. So there's an organization that fights for what we would call balanced dog training. It's called the International Association of Canine Professionals, the IACP. And it has dog trainers from all over the world that are able to use all tools and all methods and philosophies of training in order to optimize results. So if any of you guys watching are interested in anything I just said, do your research, but people have been coming at me a lot lately, especially this week. I did defend Jeff on Twitter a little bit, and some trainer decided to want to confront me on Instagram, and some animal behaviorist also wanted to confront me on YouTube. So you can go see those conversations if you want. They did get a little heated because I don't take I don't take it lightly that people say that I abuse dogs. I just don't think that they know what they're talking about. So you can check those conversations out if you like. But there is, every now and then, people who will think because I use an electronic collar and a prong collar that it's dog abuse. But when I confront them, none of them have solutions as to how I can train these dogs without using those tools. Because if there happens to be one, send them my way. Point them around. Point them my way. I'll be open and gladly wanting to seek their advice. Okay, we got a question coming in. Amanda says, first time watching, any advice on a dog nervous around young kids? We had a couple of instances of our dogs barking and lunging at kids when they've been in his face. I encourage you, Amanda, I've been answering dogs and kids questions all night long, pretty much. But I'll go ahead and go into your question as well. I just want you to know that there's a little bit more advice. If after this video is done, you go watch some earlier, because I definitely addressed this. Most of them would not even work with dogs with severe issues. You're right about that. You're exactly right about that. And then I ask them their experience, and they go, I raised a pit bull and 2 German Shepherds. And it's like, okay, that's 3 dogs. Sorry. Anyway. Okay. So, on one hand, you have to control your kids. Do not let your kids get in a dog's face. That's a rule to teach your kids. And then once your dog sees that your kids can be controlled and not just invade space, the dog may be less likely to bark and lunge. Now, there's another side to that. The dog should not be barking and lunging at your kids to a certain level. I mean, not it should just never happen. So you can correct your dog for that too. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to ever make it okay. I'm just giving your dog the benefit of the doubt kind of deal. Like, okay, you do got to control your kids. Your kids shouldn't be able to do what they want to your dog. All right. But then your dog, again, should be a bit more respectful about barking and lunging. Um, yeah. So again, if you show your dog that your kids can be controlled, dog may be more open to being tolerable because the dog can get to know the kids a little with a little bit more little less nervousness. I don't know. And yeah, if your kids go into the wrong dog's face like that, then it could be big trouble for your kids. So I would stop that. And if you can't, then you got to keep them separate. All right. Thanks for your question. All right. Those of you who are watching live, we got 8 minutes left. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you lastly this right here. Anybody who's watching who has anybody who trolls my YouTube channel, whatever that, I mean, I do call it trolling because they really don't offer any solutions. Like they just want to say, and again, I don't take when people say my training is abusive lightly, because I know the time and the effort that I put into these dogs. So I challenge though anybody to have a debate, and it ain't even a challenge where I'm trying to win, but let's have a friendly conversation. Because at the end of the day, we're both going to benefit from it. The opposing side. So you positive only trainers out there who are watching or listening, it's super easy to go live with somebody on Instagram these days, real quick. If you feel strongly about your beliefs, then let's go. But meanwhile, let's not hide behind a fake account. Like most of these people you don't even get a chance to get to know who they are. These people can look through hundreds of videos of mine and get to know me and my training or whatever. I'm putting myself out there because at the moment, this is what I think is how I best serve the dog world, the dog community. So if you got a better way, but you're not doing live Q&As, you're not doing seminars, you're not dog training, we can't even have a conversation. I don't want to have a conversation with a professional or a non-professional. It'd be like me discussing history with a history professor. History professor would not even want to talk to me because I know nothing. And it would be insulting to a certain degree. Okay. All right. He's been fine with our kids. It's others. We've gone with no, you can't pet him. Would side pets be acceptable? And thanks. No. No, 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 no. No side pets. No pets. If your dog's barking and nervous and all that, barking and lunging, no pets. Give them a break. Put them away. Put them outside. Put them in another room. If you simply put, if you can't control your environment, then the dog is going to control the environment, which means barking and lunging because that's how they know. That's that's how they know how to control the situation. So if you can't control the situation because they're not your kids, don't put your dogs in that position because you can end up in big trouble. If your dog decides to bite the child, you may have to put the dog down, pay for medical bills. It's a nightmare. You're taking a chance. It may not happen, but it may happen. So if your dog's barking and lunging and those kids are in the house, a safe bet would be to put them the hell away. They'd probably thank you for it. Like, oh, I freaking hate these kids. I don't want them around. I don't want them touching me. Thank you for putting me in my crate or another room. Amanda says people need to be more open minded. These people have personal issues themselves, just like a bully. Their bleeding hearts do nothing for these dogs that need the direction. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it really is tough. You know, one thing you'll learn about me is I don't let people bully me, man. You say something negative, you better be ready to have a good conversation because I'm not going to let you just say what you want on my channel. And I don't block comments, I don't erase comments. So all of the crap that I sort of went through this week is all on YouTube. It's still on Instagram. It's still on Twitter. Um, you know, it's ridiculous. I mean, I always end up giving out my phone number saying, "Hey, you got better solutions, man. I want to learn from you. Where's your seminars? I'm coming. I promise you. I want to be as gentle as possible with all these dogs. I promise you that." So you got a good solution with the dogs that I work with, I'll pay you to learn from you. But it never pans out that way. Not yet. Do you feel petting should be minimized for a dog that is impulsive with no leadership? Yes, I should. I mean, yes, it should. Petting should be earned, not something the dog assumes it can have. Because when you're dealing with a dog that has, let's just say, human aggression, then the dog is going past its nervous threshold and saying, now I just don't like you. I don't want to be touched by you. And if their petting cup is full, then they are going to be closed off to the rest of the world because they are allowed to be so pretentious in the home. I have dogs in my kennel right now who are their walls are so strong. Their walls that they put up are so strong because they've been very much so had a very great, easy, what we would call great life. And it's hard to reach dogs who habitually get what they want at the drop of a dime because their wants supersede their needs. And that's what happens. We give in to their wants and we think that they need what we think that we need their want. You know, we think that they need what they actually just want. And that's not right. Yeah. So you want a dog to become more open to new things. We have to separate ourselves from them and say, there's a world out there that you need to get along with. I'm going to sacrifice what I want from this relationship so you can have it. You can have a better relationship with the world. That's it. Exactly. Like our children. All right, guys. I think that's going to be enough for tonight. My computer is about to die. So please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe. I don't, whatever else. We will be here on Thursday next week, same time, or maybe it'd be a little earlier, but we'll see. And yeah, thank you guys for all your questions. I really do appreciate them. And sorry for my honesty, brutal honesty, but I don't play around with children and dogs. You guys know that. Okay, guys, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.